Hey folks, Nick Harrington here, and it is a cold snap kind of day out here on Eagle Lake in Ontario. We had about a 20-degree temperature change from last night, some pretty big storms, lots of rain, and as you can tell, it is rough, it is cool, and we got a little sun peeking through the clouds, but not much, and we're probably just between storms right now, so got some wind, got some overcast, and more importantly, we have some fish that are in some very negative moods. So what we're trying to do right here is just tone it down, slow down the presentation, and then hit them with some jigs just right over their noses. We're out here a little bit deeper. We're in 32 feet of water, just floating, just a slow drift right through with jigs and minnows, trying to coax a few of these off the bottom, but they are not in a good mood.
I'll go ahead and let Nick do the introduction for the day, but the fish are not the only thing in negative behavior today. Today, this jigging technique, this is very much a fishing technique. As I've said, I'm not much of a fisherman. The worst part is I have to wear socks because it is so cold out here. My feet are cold hanging off the side of the boat. So what I need is some cold snap socks and some more fish to bite. This jigging thing, not a fan.
So what we're doing is I've just got the boat parked into the wind here, and we're just kind of long line and drifting these jigs off the side. I've got a 1/4 ounce jig and a minnow with my JB Designs Walleye Platinum. I just like fishing with a little bit lighter jig, and Dad's got a little something beefier, about a 1/2 ounce, because despite being snagged, he said he still wasn't on the bottom yesterday. Correct, Dad?
I was not on the bottom.
Aside from that time the bottom came up and got you.
Yes.
Okay, just
that was a rock. It was
yep.
Not me.
Just to be clear. So that's kind of how we're fishing this. Again, fish are in super negative moods. You can see them on the graph there, ultra buried to the bottom. So, okay, apparently we can't see on the graph that fish are in negative moods.
We can see, we know they're in a negative mood. I just don't see any on the graph.
There's 2 right there.
Right, but they're so stuck to the bottom that you can't even tell. Whatever, it's my ignorance. So, I'm just cold and grumpy. Soon we'll be finding out what's for lunch.
Soon. There's two nice ones right there. You ready to go over them?
Mm-hmm. I'm ready.
Okay, well, let's catch these and then we'll figure out what's for lunch.
Well, maybe we won't be grumpy if we catch these.
We might not be. And maybe if the sun comes out a little bit more, we might be able to take our socks off.
Oh, that would be so nice.
Get some foot tan going on.
Oh, you're teasing me about the foot tan.
No, I'm not. Those dogs need some help. Dad's got one here hooked up.
Oh, we're fishing. We're catching.
We're catching.
We're catching.
What do we got, Dad?
Could be a rock.
It could be a rock?
Could be a rock, but it's pulling back.
You teach that rock how to swim?
Yep.
Looks like it's swimming this way. You need me to net that thing, Dad.
Oh, I don't think a net's necessary.
You don't think a net's necessary?
No, unless we want to eat it, but we're not eating it. We got the
We're on
North
the
Shore Lodge
yet again.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that thing. We've caught a walleye. Socks and all.
I'm sorry, little guy. Go back to your friends.
Okay. Back to the friends we go. Mood a little bit better now, Dad.
Well, at least we caught a fish.
We did catch a fish.
We didn't see it on the graph, but we caught it in the boat.
I told you they're buried. So the reason that I can't effectively call Dad's fish like I want to is because we literally just caught this one. And I'm sitting here trying to fish under the boat, and he just hucks it like 30 yards in front of the boat, right, Dad? So Dad's jig's like somewhere like out in the abyss over there, whereas the graph is seeing, below the boat down here. So that's probably one of the reasons I'm having a harder time calling your bites.
That could be.
And now we're here in Dad's favorite segment of the day.
Favorite segment of the day.
The sandwich review sponsored by North Shore Lodge. Dad,
what's for lunch?
What do we got for lunch today?
Well, let me give you a little backup story. This morning, we cannot clarify whether it was a breakfast casserole or a quiche. Some sausage, some eggs, some peppers. Nick believes there was some sort of a breaded crust, which leads me to believe it was a quiche. Can't exactly say, but some hash browns and some toast. Very delicious meal. Tonight, we're having schnitzel with corn on the cob. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a nice pork loin that's pounded out, and then she's going to dip it in some egg and batter it and fry it. And I said, like a fried pork loin? And she's like, no, like schnitzel. She said it's German. So I said, well, I'll give it a try. She's like, well, that's a good idea because it's all we have. So thank you to the cook. All right, and today
what do we got?
we have 2 sandwiches, but I can say same sourdough bread, but it looks to be a ham.
Ooh,
I believe we are having
ham.
ham today.
Ham.
Okay. Oh, and the all dressed up seasoned chips. Nickel like that.
That means
For
I
those
get
of
Dad's.
you who are following along, these have a vinegar taste. They're kind of I believe that I'll be having Pringles thanks to Amy Harrington, who stocked me up with Pringles in the room.
Pringles sponsored by Sam's Club Mom's Membership.
Yes. And
Ooh, what are we
oh
working?
no, more cooked raisins.
We got some raisin involved.
Oatmeal raisin cookies. Nick will be eating all of these. It's not my favorite, but great news. Sponsored by Hy-Vee, Mom did get us some Oreos. So Dad will be having the Pringles and the Oreos. Nick will be having the all dressed up vinegar chips and the oatmeal raisins.
Hate naked chips. Gotta have them dressed up. So as we jig these fish, one thing you got to remember is we've kind of got 3 different patterns cooking here on Eagle Lake. And that's all based around the forage that we are seeing. So our shallow trolling bite, that's all revolving around yellow perch, those bait fish that are in the weeds. Our deep water trolling bite, that's our Cisco, lake herring, those cold water, big lake, for lack of a better term, prey fish, those big bodied prey fish. And then out here, where we're jigging, where we're bottom bouncing, this is crayfish oriented. So this one, a tactic, I'm not used to fishing on the Missouri River, so I'm enjoying fishing this because we get a fish along the boulders, we get a fish tight to the bottom, and we're fishing just a technique, a pattern that I'm not used to, so that's going to be very bottom oriented here. We're out in that 25 to 32 feet of water. That's kind of where I'm looking for fish, and then we're looking for these boulders, and where we find these boulders, that's where we find these crayfish, and where we find these crayfish, that's where we find these walleyes. So 3 completely different techniques and styles, but all of it is related to the different forage options that are here at Eagle Lake. So if you look at our mapping graph here, you'll see we got just a big concentration of waypoints right here. We're just right in the heart of them, and that's not by accident. So what we've been doing is we've been fishing along this island here. This is called Swainson's Island. So what we've been doing, we've been fishing along here, and then we go over to the downscan here, and I mean, what you can see is now you can start seeing this is where those rocks start. This is where that bottom starts. We got a weak mark of a fish right there, but as you look at this, we fished that kind of flat area all the way down here, and there's some fish scattered, not near as many today, but now you can see as we get up here, this harder bottom, this is where all those fish have been concentrated. This is where those crayfish are sitting. So again, we're looking out here, we're fishing off this island, we're fishing on this kind of deeper flat, this right off this break line, but the concentration of fish, it is all around where these rocks are because they are eating crayfish. So here is a really good shot here. What we are probably seeing here, I don't know this Garmin near as well as my Lowrance, but what we are probably seeing here is that big swath of boulders start. We're probably slow marking a boulder. I'm assuming it's a boulder as opposed to a pod of bait fish. Again, don't know my Garmin as well, but what that tells me is this is where we're starting to run in those structural elements, and this is where that high probability chance is. So especially when you're jigging with someone with Dad's patience, you got to land right on the fish. And so that is where I would start focusing your efforts. All right, Dad has something to say.
Well, all due respect to you lip ripper fishing fans, I hope you've gathered a lot from this jigging technique that we've used. It's an excellent way to fish. It's my least favorite way to catch, and we're going to move on to do something else that will lead to more success. If not, it'll at least make me less negative and less grumpy. So now, time for some good fishing. I'm in.
Hey folks, so one of the most common requests I get is what I'm using for bait. So up here at Eagle Lake, and what I have right here, this is my jigging presentation, is I've got a JB Designs custom rods. This is the Oahe Platinum series. It's a 6'8" medium light extra fast rod. And yeah, I've got an 1/8 ounce VMC jig here, and I just love, I got 8-pound Berkeley Fireline right here. I bring that down to a 12-pound Berkeley Vanish leader. I've got a Spro Power Swivel, and reason I do that is I do 12-pound just because we've got a lot of pike and the chance of the muskie here on Eagle Lake, so just want to have that good abrasion resistance. But yeah, does great for, I get a really good distance on my cast, but most importantly, this is the most sensitive rod that we have. I've got a super small compact reel too, so super lightweight, super sensitive, but then when you lay into one of these nice fish, you have some great backbone for fighting them too. So that's what I use here, and this is my all-time favorite jigging presentation.